Wow, look at them all. Come on, everybody, with me now. Tell GameStop what we want. Funko Pops! Funko Pops! Nintendo's next-gen console is here, so that means so am I. In the heat. Struggling, but I got it all for you guys today. The wild midnight release, me embarrassing myself in front of Nintendo reps again, me unboxing the console, the case, unboxing the Pro Controller, the camera I'll never use, then of course Mario Kart, as well as my impressions of it. And of course, because it's me, all of these small little details Nintendo got right and wrong about this new console generation. Can't do a video without at least some complaining. Okay, here we go. So I was originally going to go to the GameStop midnight release on Yonge Street downtown, but downtown is pretty hectic, especially for a midnight release, and no one wanted to go with me to that. So instead of staying, I headed out to one of the other 3 midnight release special events going on in the GTA. And I also had some friends who pre-ordered there, so I decided to pre-order there too, so I wouldn't be alone. I arrived around 3 p.m.-ish, even though the line didn't officially start till 7 p.m. My friends, however, arrived at 4 for the previous day. Yes, they had camped out overnight, slept in lawn chairs, saw a guy try to break into the mall, but it was all worth it because, Anyways, when I arrived, they already had lore, like, for this whole midnight release, before I had even got there. For example, they knew the GameStop manager by her first name, telling me like, oh yeah, Layla was by here earlier talking with us. Like, oh, so we're on a first name basis with the GameStop employees now, are we? Wild. Now you're probably thinking, why did my friends and I, self-proclaimed Nintendoebs, feel the need to line up early? Didn't we already have pre-orders? We did have pre-orders. But what, were we gonna wait in line for an extra half hour to get our pre-orders when midnight struck? Or were we gonna line up hours in advance for me and a day in advance for them so that we could get it right away? Now, I think we all know which one's more logical. No, in all seriousness, as silly as this may seem, it was more for just the fun of it all, you know, the experience. The nice air-conditioned mall was right there, so when the sun started to make my Caucasian act up, I could easily go in. My friends went in here to get a pasta, and I got some tea to refresh. Taste real tea. I don't know about that. It's not very good. I taste real tea. Heading back out now, and I see more people lining up. It's gonna get dark soon, but it still feels pretty early for people other than me and my stinky friends to be lining up. But I suppose Nintendo is more popular than ever. If you would have told me 8 years ago that Nintendo was this big, I probably would have said,
"Oh, geez. Wow. Have all these people played the new Prime game?"
Don't remind me, you little... We had like one person come every single hour to ask what the line was for, and every time we had to explain what Switch was and how the Switch 2 was different. No, you don't get it. The button has a C on it. At one point, I was so sick of explaining to different people coming up being like,
"Oh, what's this for? Oh, what's this for?"
that I was tempted to be like, "Unemployment checks, Deborah. Thanks for making us feel bad about it." We actually had this guy who worked at a bakery nearby come and feed us free pastries. He probably thought to himself, man, I did a good thing today feeding the homeless. Meanwhile, no, you were just fattening up the weeaboos. Once nightfall came, the Nintendo reps arrived, and they ran out like they were taking the court for Game 1 in the NBA Finals. Then trivia began, and they looped back around to us. The questions they asked my friends were ones I could easily get, okay? What was the Mario Kart on GameCube called? Obviously, that was Resident Evil 4. When did Rosalina first appear in a Nintendo game? Obviously, Resident Evil 4. I assumed they were going to ask me a question on something about Nintendo history. Like, who exactly was the Mushroom Kingdom aligned with during World War II? I was about to go off about Nestor's Funky Bowling. But they asked me a question I should have known about a more recent game, and I blanked. What was the name of the underground area in Tears of the Kingdom? And you know what I said? I said the Deep. You know, the character from The Boys who really likes fish? My friend swooped in and answered the question correctly, and I won a sticker, but I gave it to another friend because I didn't earn it. I beat TOTK 2 years ago and haven't played much since, but this was still an unexcusable choke job on my part. Then Lila came back out, and she was with the other GameStop employees. And she was pointing to our group being like, "Look, these are the guys I was talking about. The guys who were waiting out since yesterday, despite already having a pre-order." I mean, I wasn't there since yesterday, but what? Was I gonna correct her while I was wearing my N64 Air Maxes with the Switch 2 backpack on? What am I gonna be like?
No. I'm cool. I've only been here for 8 hours.
But there was still some time before the doors would open, and it started to rain. We all huddled under the canopy until we're in. Ooh, so exciting. We're at the GameStop, and there it was, everything. The console, the games, controllers. Biogenic accessories! I chatted with the GameStop and Nintendo employees, all really cool people. But unfortunately, my friend who had been waiting for 40 hours to get his pre-order was having issues because they didn't have his pre-order of Rune Factory Special Edition. So after waiting 40 hours, one of the people without pre-orders got the console first. Society. I finally got to the front and can get what I'm here for.
Excuse me, sir. Where are the Funko Pops?
Okay, I got my console and even got a special chastity bag with it. We ran back to the car, huddled over our bags like the little Nintendo gremlins we are to protect it from the rain. And now I'm back at my friend's place to unbox it on top of his fancy dining room cloth. Ooh, only the best for you guys. Now, starting with the console. Ooh, the Joy-Cons are slanted. Now guys, I get it. You guys were right. I understand the price increase. You know, I actually unboxed the Switch 1 at this same friend's place 8 years ago. How lucky he must be to watch me create garbage around his house again. I've held the console before, but I still can't get over how premium it is. And how large it is, while still being thin. It's like a Wii U gamepad on Ozempic. AC adapter. Fun fact, when I got my Switch 1, the AC didn't work at first and then randomly started working. It wasn't the outlet. I tried it on different ones, and it wasn't the place either. I tried it on different places. But, yeah, that stressed me out. Remember, the Switch 1 was like so rare when it came out. So let's hope this one works. Time for the case. I could probably get a better one online, but I appreciate the, the simple starter case. I never got the Switch 1's one. It even comes with a screen protector. I'm obviously gonna get a tempered glass one as soon as I can. Who do you think I am? But this should do for now. Okay, I already messed it up. I promise I'm better at these. This one's just not very good. Okay, time for the Pixar camera. I literally bought it just so y'all could see it. I don't play multiplayer games, and even if I did, do I really need to have my friends see me covered in Red Bull and sweat? I take ARMS very seriously, okay? Regardless, I think this is a nice thing to have for those who are into the idea of Zoom-style gaming. It's small, it's compact, it's got a nice little privacy cover. The Pro Controller. I forgot to talk about it in the Switch 2 experience video. This new Pro Controller is smaller than the original, which I kind of like. It makes it more portable, the plastic also feels better. But in exchange for that higher quality plastic, they got rid of the textured rubbery grips. I think the larger design of the original one fits my hands better, but this one feels more higher quality. So I do prefer the original, but this one feels more premium. I know it's kind of a contradiction, but yeah. Finally, we have Mario Kart. I see the plastic on the games is still like the one on the original Switch, where they seal it better than the Sages seal Ganon.
No, don't worry too much. He'll break through it in a few years, but we won't have to deal with it.
No, I don't need a pen to open it. I'm a trained vet. Okay, we're in. Red game cards, wow. And they said Mario Kart wasn't worth 110 bucks. Now it's time for me to pack all this up because yes, I save it all, even the plastic. So yeah, it's a better Switch. It's got a brighter screen, larger screen, and the fact it's the same thickness as the OG Switch, but it's larger, it makes it feel thinner to me. This all leads me to the conclusion that this is the TOTK of consoles. What do I mean? I mean, it's a definitive upgrade over the original, and I would say it's a better version, but it's hardly a sequel. Most of what worked stayed, and what didn't was replaced, but very little entirely new features were added. Well, I mean, in TOTK they added new mechanics, but like, the world is the same. The eShop finally works. I actually had a panic attack when I saw it load so fast. The virtual game card thing is something they rolled out months ago for all Switches, not just Switch 2, but it definitely was made to make playing on this console and your old Switches more easy. But it still tracks your hours separately on each console. If you play a game on one console and then play it on the other, it will reset when you play it on the other, so it won't show all the hours you have on the first console. That's silly. Why would they go through the trouble of making it more seamless to switch between consoles and not fix such an obvious problem? I'll touch briefly on Mario Kart. I played it with my friend who was half asleep, and he had so much fun. It gave him energy, and he was fully awake by one round of Knockout Tour. I've been playing the game by myself for quite a bit, and I really like the free roam and the creativity in the new tracks, but I still can't justify a price increase for most people. I'm fine with tolerating the price, like, for myself, but I live and breathe this stuff. I make videos on it, but I can't really recommend this to a more casual fan. This is a lot of money. I'll talk about it more later in another video, but yeah. That was the launch of Switch 2. Shout out to Layla, shout out to Pastry Man, shout out to Nintendo reps. They actually make Nintendo look good. Nintendo, pay them more. And I don't mean in platinum points, okay? Like, subscribe, bye.